Hello, welcome to my channel. I just want to say that this is my first live ever, and if I seem nervous, it's because I am. And if you see me looking down, it's because I have my notes written down, and yeah. So, and I also apologize for the quality if it's not great. YouTube requires you to have 1,000 subscribers before you can use your mobile to record a live video for some reason. So I'm just recording this on my MacBook. So if the quality sucks, I am sorry for that. So this live video is part of the Manifesting Summit I was asked to speak at. It's called Be Your Own Guru. I will update the description of the video down below with the website, and you can see all the other speakers. It's a really cool event, so I'm grateful to be speaking as part of this event. So my name's Hillary Jubilee. I'll just give a quick background of how I came to know about conscious creation. So basically, oh, I'm freezing. Okay. Thank you, Fern. Basically, the movie The Secret. So lots of people have heard of that. It's mainly about law of attraction. So I had heard about that when I was a child. I've seen it probably 20 times since then. I always found it really inspiring, and like the idea that you could create reality with your thoughts seemed like I believed in it, but I just didn't really understand how to really make it work for me. And it just seemed very far removed. Like they're just talking about vibrations, match the vibration of what you want. Like what does that mean? Yeah, it just seemed very like you're bringing something from outside of you towards you by thinking a certain thing. Like it just seemed very removed, and like the idea of it I liked, and it seemed like people had success stories and things like that. But it's just like all like you have to write things a certain amount of time. It was like it didn't really click for me until I found the work of Neville Goddard, and he talks about this other law called the law of assumption. So since I found the law of assumption, conscious creation has made a lot more sense to me. So essentially, it just means your consciousness is God. So you create with the way you think. There's nothing outside of you. Consciousness is the only reality. So yeah, that's essentially what law of assumption is. Whatever you assume to be true about people and about others and about yourself will be true in your reality. Okay. Yeah, so you are God. So I know the title of my live is top five methods for manifesting. So I want to kind of put a disclaimer. You don't actually need methods or techniques. That's sort of a LOA or law of attraction type way of thinking. So you don't actually need anything outside of you. That's the thing. Ironically, the topic of my video is about methods, but at the same time, it's meant to be fun. So sometimes the methods can be a way of making it fun. So yeah, so I want to make that clear. You are God. You don't need anything outside of you. You don't need like to do it a certain way. You decide what works for you, and it's fun to kind of play around with it though. So I'll just explain my top 5 favorite methods for manifesting. Okay, so my first one is affirming to lo-fi music. So I really like to have lo-fi music in the background. It's just very like chill and calming, and especially with no lyrics. So if it's just, you've just got lo-fi music going in the background when you're doing something mundane, like driving or cleaning or something like that, in the shower, whatever, if you have the lo-fi music, and then you can kind of get lost in thought when there's no lyrics to the music, you know? So sometimes I like to put on lo-fi music, and then you'd have your affirmations ready. Affirmations are just thoughts. So thinking, you know, creating with your thoughts. So thinking what you would like to be true rather than complaining in your mind or arguing back and forth in your mind. You're thinking positive affirmations in your head, and it's fun to do it over music. So that's my first one. And the second method is guided meditation visualizations, or meditation in general. So I've shared this before in one of my videos, but there's a certain guided meditation that I've used in the past that I really like. So I'll link it down below later, but basically it takes you through a guided meditation, and it's visualizing. You can pick the topic, but visualizing, your future, where you're trying to go. And then even just regular meditation in general. Neville Goddard talks about going into the silence, which I'm assuming he's talking about meditation. So it's good to clear your mind and kind of, you can come back to your center and kind of, feel that you're the one consciousness by doing that meditation and clearing your mind of all thoughts, kind of like, yeah. So guided meditation or just regular meditation. The third method is scripting. So this comes really naturally to me because I've always been a writer. So I really like scripting. So you just write down however many pages, you just kind of let it flow as if you're already the version of you that has what you want. And you just, I'm so happy that I now have whatever. And then you just go on all the details about your new amazing life. Okay, and so the fourth one is listening to affirmations. So listening either to affirmations, there's something called the ThinkUp app. So you can record your own voice listening. And then you have to pay extra for the app if you want to have more than 3 or 5 or something. But I think it's worth it. So you just you type it in your own affirmations in there, and then you record your own voice for all of them, and then it loops them and it plays calming music in the background. So you can do that while you're doing mundane things, or you can do it while you're sleeping. So that's part of the fourth tip. And then the other one is, I just recently thought of this. If you're scripting, if you have a piece of scripting that you've done, you can also use voice notes in your phone and just say aloud the whole story that you've scripted. And you can say that into your voice notes, and then you can play that back and listen to your scripting. That's another good way of, putting your focus on what you want. My Auntie Liz is asking, do you think rereading the scripting is helpful or the act of writing is action? I like to do both. So I will write it down. And it's not personally, I'm not I write every day at this time. I don't do that. I just, whenever I feel inspired to write, I'll do it. And then sometimes it's fun to go back and read them, and I'll completely forget what I had written before. And it's oh yeah, look at that. It's kind of fun to reread them. So yeah, both are good. And my fifth method, and probably the most important one. So stepping into the state or version of you who already has what you want. So what thoughts would you be thinking? You think from that state. So it's stepping into the version of you, or stepping into the state of already having what you want. This is pretty key. In my opinion, affirmations and all of the techniques are all ways to kind of get you into that state, or feeling the wish, state of the wish fulfilled. That these are all ways to just kind of get you into stepping into the version of you who already has what you want. So if you could just kind of conceptualize how you would be if you already had your desire, you just decide that you already had it. You think of what you want, and then as soon as you have a true desire, you step into the version of yourself and you decide that you already have it, and you just think as if you already have it. Do you use affirmations? Yes, I do. I really like affirmations because it's just, I find it's a little bit less resistance to ask it in a question, rather than to kind of declare oh, I am this, or I am that, or I have this, or I have that. Why do I have this? Why do I have that? It's sort of bypassing your judgment mind. And it's oh, why do I already have this? I don't know why. It doesn't matter why, but I have it. It implies that you have it. So yeah, I do affirmations a lot, or affirmations, however you want to say that. What if you don't know what it would feel like? I guess you would imagine what you would feel like. Yeah. So this is with the law of attraction and things like that. It's match the vibration of it. That seems very removed. So what if you don't know what it would feel like? Yeah, it kind of depends what it is, I guess. So it's a good question. I sort of kind of just visualize, imagine in your head, what if I already had that? I'll use an example. So I had a car previously that was a Volkswagen Beetle, and it was breaking down all the time, and and it was giving me a lot of grief, and it was frustrating because I would be trying to go somewhere and it would just crap out, or I'd be driving and it would just What happened when I was driving? The power steering went when I was driving, so you couldn't turn, and I was literally in the middle of driving, and it just like I couldn't turn my freaking car. Anyways, it was very stressful. It just kept on giving me problems. So even though I had a car that was shitty and it kept on giving me problems, and you know, I would literally be driving in my Volkswagen Beetle, 2001 Volkswagen Beetle, and I would just imagine that I had a completely, working vehicle, and I would just drive in my not great car and just like imagine that, oh, like it's so nice that I don't have to worry about my car breaking down. Like I would just like think as if I already had what I wanted. Like even if you don't know what it would feel like, it doesn't necessarily need to be a certain feeling, but what thoughts would you be thinking if you already had what you wanted? You can imagine. Yeah, you'd feel grateful. Yeah. Yes, you remember the car. Anyways, okay, yeah. So hopefully that answers that. But yeah, like how would you carry yourself? How would you walk through life? How would you treat others if you already had what you wanted? So you become that version, you conceptualize the version, and you step into it. And then, we're human. So we're going to have things that come up and trigger us, and we'll fall out of the state and we'll kind of forget who we are and like, oh, like where we're going. And so you just bring yourself back to the state as many times as it takes until it hardens into fact. So you just keep bringing yourself back to the state. Yeah. So those are the 5 methods that I had. I don't know if I just said that really quickly because I was nervous or what. But again, I just want to reiterate that you don't actually need any techniques or anything outside of yourself because you are God and you're a creator. So all you really have to do is decide that you have it and think from the state of having it. All the techniques are just sort of like to support your focus going in the direction of already having what you want. But yeah, I think that's all I have. So I will link the video or the website for all of the other lives and check out everybody else who's speaking for the Manifesting Summit. And I thank you for watching live. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.